All right, donor bikes. So how do you select a good donor bike for the blue collar build off? Well, I mean, obviously, if you've got an old bike sitting in the garage that keeps getting piled full of old clothes and garbage and whatever, maybe you got something sitting out in the backyard up against the house or out in the shed or whatever, bike you used to ride. I mean, that's a great donor bike right there. Aside from that, just my recommendation would be something that is complete and running, or at a minimum, a bike that you know that runs, because the running is half of the battle. I see it every year where people get started, they're 2 or 3 weeks into their build, they don't even know if the bike runs, and they're doing all this great custom work and everything looks great, only to find out that they can't get the bike to run right, and they've only got 3 or 4 days left in the build time. So if that bike doesn't run, it doesn't matter what else you do to it, you're done. So that would be my recommendation. If you can, start off with a complete running bike, because that way you know that you have everything you need for that bike to run and that it all works. I do have people that'll join the competition and they're just going to start off with a bunch of raw materials. They got an engine sitting over in a corner, they got a front end sitting over in another corner, they got a bunch of tubing that they're going to build their own frame with. That's all great too, and these guys have won the competitions. So I mean, kudos to those guys, man, because that's taking a chance right there. So you can certainly do that. I'm just saying that it'll make your life easier if you start off with something that's complete and that that runs, and you just do your customization from there. That's what your $1,500 budget's for. It's it's for anything that you need to add to that bike or make changes on the bike. So that would be my recommendation. If you do need to end up buying a bike, maybe off of Craigslist or eBay, or you got something from the guy down the street or something or whatever, that's fine too. Typically speaking, the value of the donor bikes that we accept is anywhere from a couple hundred to a couple $1,000. I mean, they're old beater bikes that obviously need work. And that's what the donor bike should be. Aside from that, there is going to come a time where you will be required to submit a photo of your donor bike for our approval, or your donor pile of parts, whatever it is you're starting off with. There will come a time where you will have to submit a photo of that for us to approve before you can move forward. Whatever is on your bike or in your pile of parts in that photo, once we approve that, that's what is going to be registered with us and referred back to from us as your approved donor. So at the judging, anything that's on that bike that's different than what was on it in that approved donor photo is going to have to be on your ledger. So if at some point during your build you decided, well, you wanted to change the handlebars, you wanted different bars on it than what was on it in that donor picture, those new bars need to be on your ledger. Same thing with the seat or fenders or wheels or front end. Anything that is different on your bike at judging compared to the donor photo needs to be on your ledger, okay? So that doesn't mean on your donor picture to have 3 front ends and 4 sets of handlebars and 12 seats and 3 sets of wheels. I'm not going to approve that as a donor. In your donor photo, all I want to see is your donor. That's it. I don't care how many front ends you have to choose from, how many sets of wheels you have to choose from. That's down the road. That's nothing that needs to be in the donor picture. If you have those parts available to you, great. But in the donor picture of your donor bike or your donor pile of parts, the only thing that needs to be there is what you're using on that bike. Now, you may already have plans that you're going to use a different front end, and that's fine. You can change the front end later. That's what the build-off is all about. You can change the handlebars, you can change the seat, you can change whatever you want. It'll just have to go on your ledger if it's not the seat or the bars or the front end or the wheels or whatever that was on your donor photo that we approved. Got it? All right, guys. See you at the next video.